Let's start with the 1957 Lincoln wheat penny. Despite the fact that this coin is in a scratched and damaged condition, it still carries substantial value in today's market. This particular coin features the iconic design of Abraham Lincoln, a pivotal figure in American history. The penny has a rich legacy that dates back to its first issuance in 1909. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series, designed by Victor David Brenner, was issued from 1909 until 1958. The 1957 coin is part of the final year for the iconic wheat design before it transitioned to the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. This period marks the conclusion of one of the most recognizable coin designs in American numismatics. During the 1950s, the US economy was booming, and the penny, along with other denominations, played a crucial role in everyday transactions. The 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny, minted with a D mint mark, saw a total mintage of over 1 billion coins, making it one of the most common pennies from this series. However, the sheer volume of production does not necessarily mean that every coin from this year is worth the same amount. The damage and scratches on this particular coin reduce its market value significantly, but it remains a valuable piece due to its historical context and rarity in certain conditions. Even in scratched and damaged condition, a 1957 D penny can still fetch prices that range from a few dollars to higher amounts depending on the auction market and collector interest. For a coin in damaged condition, the value might not break high records, but collectors often look for coins with some sort of historical significance or rare characteristics. A damaged 1957 D penny can generally be valued anywhere from $37,000, though auction prices vary significantly depending on demand. A particularly rare or unique version of this coin with additional damage or wear could increase its value. The 1957 D penny, like all Lincoln wheat pennies, features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, with liberty inscribed to the left and the motto "In God We Trust" to the right. The reverse showcases the two stalks of wheat surrounding the coin's denomination 1 cent, a design that gives the coin its nickname wheat. Despite the wear and tear, this coin is still sought after because of its connection to the historical period. Some collectors might even find interest in the wear pattern or the unique scratches. While not necessarily an error coin in the traditional sense, collectors might look at a coin with an unusual scratch pattern or misalignment with some fascination. Next up, let's talk about the Abraham Lincoln Bicentennial Presidency 2009 coin, particularly the large date with the D mint mark, which was produced in circulated condition. This coin is an integral part of the US Mint's celebration of one of the most influential presidents in American history, commemorating the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The Abraham Lincoln Bicentennial Presidency coin was released in 2009, a year marked by numerous commemorations of Lincoln's legacy. As the 16th President of the United States, Lincoln's leadership during the Civil War and his role in the abolition of slavery have made him one of the most revered figures in American history. The coin was part of a 4-coin series issued by the US Mint in honor of Lincoln's life and legacy, with each coin representing a significant phase in his life. Birthplace in Kentucky, formative years in Indiana, professional life in Illinois, and his presidency. The Bicentennial Presidency coin was the final coin in this series, and it holds special significance because it celebrates the leadership of Lincoln during a transformative period in American history. In terms of mintage, the Abraham Lincoln Bicentennial Presidency coin with a D mint mark was struck at the Denver Mint. The total mintage for this particular coin in circulated condition is substantial, which means that many coins from this series are still available in circulation. However, even with the higher mintage, certain conditions and unique features have made some of these coins quite valuable. The market for this coin has seen significant appreciation, especially for higher-grade examples. While circulated condition coins might not fetch the highest prices, they are still of significant interest to collectors who seek to complete their bicentennial. Prices for circulated versions of this coin typically range between $35,000 depending on factors such as condition, rarity, and demand at any given time. However, some auctions have seen this coin fetch higher amounts when offered as part of a complete set or when the coin has special characteristics. The overall demand for Lincoln-related coins, especially ones from the Bicentennial series, remains strong, ensuring that the market for this coin continues to be. The Abraham Lincoln Bicentennial Presidency coin features a highly detailed depiction of Lincoln. The reverse side of the coin displays a powerful image of Lincoln in his presidential years. His profile is shown in a classic pose, capturing his dignified and resolute character during his time as president. Above Lincoln's portrait, you can see the phrase "In God We Trust and Liberty" along with the year 2009 and the mint mark D located near the bottom of the design. The coin's obverse features the Lincoln Memorial, an iconic symbol of Lincoln's legacy, along with a large E pluribus unum inscription, all framed within a traditional rim of stone. The bold and powerful design features were created by the US Mint's engraving team, and the large date version of this coin specifically refers to the prominence of the numbers 2009 on the obverse. This large date variation was part of a subtle design change made by the Mint to make the date more prominent for collectors to easily distinguish it from the other years in the series. While this coin is highly regarded in circulated condition, there are some error coins that have gained significant attention among collectors. These include coins with misplaced mint marks, double strikes, or incorrect die impressions. Coins exhibiting such errors can sometimes increase in value, particularly if they were produced in small quantities or under unusual circumstances. Another factor that drives interest in this coin is the collector market's fascination with Lincoln-related memorabilia. The 2009 series in particular has attracted attention because it marked a major milestone in the bicentennial of Lincoln's birth, and collectors have embraced it as a modern commemorative series. As part of the four-coin set, the Bicentennial Presidency coin holds special interest for those who wish to capture the full breadth of Lincoln's legacy in numismatic form. Next up is the 1941 Lincoln wheat penny with a large date and an S mint mark. The 1941 coin is another interesting example of how even coins with significant wear and damage can carry substantial value. Let's break down why this coin, despite being dirty and damaged, is still so significant. The 1941 Lincoln wheat penny was struck during the early years of World War II, a time when the US was undergoing significant changes in both its economy and its role on the world stage. Although the 1940s saw a wartime economy, the Lincoln penny remained a staple of daily life. This was the period of transition, with the United States shifting from a peacetime economy into one that supported the war effort. In 1941, the total mintage of Lincoln wheat pennies with an S mint mark was around 179 million. However, the 1941 large date with the S mint mark stands out in the numismatic world because of its rarity in higher grades. Coins in poor condition, like the one in this case, are less valuable but still have collectors interested due to the low mintage and unique features. In a dirty and damaged condition, the value of the 1941 S penny can range from $53,000 depending on factors such as rarity, collector interest, and the degree of damage. Coins that have significant wear or dirt can drop in value, but even these can hold strong appeal to the right buyer looking to complete a collection of rare mint marks. The 1941 Lincoln wheat penny features the well-known image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. The large date on this coin is characteristic of the 1941 issue, where the figures for the year were spaced slightly further apart than in other years. On the reverse, the wheat stalks are prominent, surrounding the coin's denomination. While this coin is not a major error coin, its particular characteristics make it a desirable piece. Some collectors are interested in the overall wear and dirt on the coin, believing it adds to the authenticity and history of the piece. The S mint mark also brings in collectors who focus on mint-specific coins. Next up, the 1969 Lincoln penny, featuring a large date and D mint mark, falls within a critical period of American history, just as the country was dealing with the effects of the Vietnam War and civil rights movements. Coinage in this era still reflected the traditional designs initiated by Brenner's Abraham Lincoln portrait, but it was also a time of political and economic change in the United States. The U.S. Mint was producing billions of pennies each year, but as inflation started to rise in the late 1960s, there was a growing concern about the cost of producing copper-based coins. The 1969 penny with the D mint mark was struck at the Denver Mint, which had a reputation for minting high-quality coins. Like the 1963 penny, it was produced in large quantities, with the intention of keeping up with the rising demand for currency in circulation. However, this particular coin is more valuable because of the unique circumstances surrounding its design and minting process. The total mintage of the 1969 Lincoln penny with a D mint mark was in the range of 1.5 billion coins. This high number suggests that most of the coins would be found in average circulated condition today. However, coins that are well preserved or feature distinctive errors are of particular interest to collectors. As the years go by, fewer high-quality examples remain in circulation, making those in fine condition increasingly rare and valuable. The design of the 1969 Lincoln penny was essentially identical to that of the 1963 penny, with only slight differences in the size and style of the date. The most notable feature of the 1969 penny is the large date variety. The numbers of the date on the 1969 penny were spaced more widely, making them appear larger than previous years. This change in design is what sets the coin apart and contributes to its collector demand. The D mint mark indicates that it was struck in Denver, which has always been a key feature for numismatists when evaluating a penny's value. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial continues to stand as a symbol of the nation's unity and strength. This side of the coin features the inscription E Pluribus Unum and United States of America, along with the words 1 cent and the design of the memorial itself. The 1969 Lincoln penny, particularly in fine condition, has risen in value over. While circulated examples are generally not worth much more than their face value, those in fine condition showing little wear, but with clear details, can command upwards of $10,000 in higher grades, such as extra fine or about uncirculated. The value can increase to $20,000 or more. As with the 1963 coin, the 1969 penny with a D mint mark appeals to collectors for its large date variety, and it's also part of the long-running Lincoln Memorial series, making it a must-have for many collectors. With mintages of over $1 billion, the majority of these coins circulated extensively and are often found in less than ideal conditions. This increases the value of coins in fine or better grades as they are less common. As with the 1963 coin, the 1969 D penny is often found with errors, and these error coins can be worth a significant amount more. One notable error for the 1969 penny is the infamous 1969 S double die variety, where the date and other features of the coin show. Though the 1969 D penny doesn't have the same level of famous errors, collectors still watch for off-center strikes, die cracks, or any other abnormalities that could enhance the coin's value. The 1969 Lincoln penny with the D mint mark may not be as rare as some other coins, but its unique features, particularly the large date variety, have made it a highly valued piece in the numismatic world. Its market value has steadily risen, and collectors continue to seek high-grade examples, especially those with noticeable errors. If you're lucky enough to find one in fine condition, it could be worth significantly more than its face value in today's auction market. Next up coin on today's list is the 1946 Lincoln wheat cent, featuring the distinctive D mint mark. Now, you might think that a coin in dirty color with scratches and obvious signs of damage wouldn't be worth much. However, when it comes to coins, especially rare ones like this 1946 wheat penny, the condition can sometimes tell a different story, particularly in terms of collector interest. The Lincoln wheat cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Over the years, this iconic coin became a mainstay of American currency, symbolizing not only Lincoln's legacy, but also the nation's evolving economy. The 1946 coin falls within the post-Wheatie era, which is a pivotal period in U.S. history. The minting of the 1946 wheat penny occurred as the country was transitioning from wartime to peacetime, and the economy was beginning to stabilize. A total of over $1.1 billion 1946 Lincoln pennies were produced, split between the three major minting locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Mint mark indicates that this particular coin was struck in Denver, which helps determine its relative scarcity compared to those minted elsewhere. Even though the mintage numbers for the 1946 penny are high, it's the condition of the coin, along with unique qualities like errors or damage, that can significantly influence its value. The design of the Lincoln wheat cent has remained largely unchanged since its introduction. The obverse features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, and the reverse displays 2 ears of wheat with the inscription E pluribus unum. These design elements make the wheat cent instantly recognizable. The 1946 wheat penny features a particular design element that appeals to many collectors. Lincoln's portrait is depicted with a fine level of detail. Despite the relatively small size of the coin, the overall clarity of the design is an important factor in assessing the coin's appeal. But in the case of this particular coin, the visible scratches and damage significantly detract from its visual appeal. The market for Lincoln wheat pennies is generally strong, with certain years and mint marks commanding premium prices. The 1946 penny is not necessarily rare, but when you factor in its condition, the value can vary widely. In a dirty condition with visible scratches and damage, it may not fetch the highest prices, but if it's part of a larger collection, or if there are additional unique factors at play, such as rarity or errors, it could still be worth thousands of dollars. In today's auction market, a 1946 penny in this damaged condition could still command anywhere from $19,000, depending on the extent of the damage and the demand among collectors at any given time. Coins in this condition may be appealing to those who are not looking for pristine examples, but rather coins with history and character. One important factor to consider when evaluating a coin's value is whether it has any errors or unique features. While this 1946 penny doesn't appear to have any obvious minting errors, collectors often seek out coins with interesting histories or unusual marks, whether the damage was caused by circulation or something more intentional. Such features can make a coin more intriguing to collectors who are looking for pieces with a story. Next up, the 1978 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent coin. This penny holds an intriguing level of collector interest due to the unique combination of a large date design, along with a damaged mint mark and other wear and tear features. Unlike the 1961 cent, which had a relatively standard design, the 1978 coin is tied to one of the last years before the US. Mint shifted its focus away from the traditional Lincoln cent designs. In the late 1970s, the United States was experiencing an economic shift marked by the end of the post-WE economic boom and the rise of inflation and fiscal concerns. The Mint continued producing coins to meet the public demand but began to make subtle changes in their design and production techniques. The 1978 Lincoln cent was part of a standard mintage run but continues to intrigue collectors, particularly those who appreciate the uniqueness of specific design and error combinations. The obverse of the 1978 Lincoln cent featured Victor David Brenner's classic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, as had been the case for decades. However, what makes this particular coin intriguing is the large date version. The US Mint had experimented with different styles for the date on the coin, and some collectors seek out these variations due to their historical significance. The reverse of the coin retained the familiar design of the Lincoln Memorial. Introduced in 1959, it was only in later years that the Mint would make more substantial changes, particularly with the introduction of the shield design in 2010. The 1978 Lincoln cent with the ED Mint mark is one of the most frequently encountered coins from that era. It had a mintage of over 6 billion coins, ensuring its widespread presence in the collector market. However, much like the 1961 coin, the presence of damage or errors can create a huge value boost for collectors. In this case, the 1978 cent with an erased or damaged mint mark is quite unusual. Typically, the mint mark on a coin is struck into the die before the coin is minted, but in rare cases, damage or wear on the die can result in incomplete or erased mint marks. Coins like this particularly those that feature discoloration and scratches, often attract error coin collectors who specialize in this type of flaw. The market value of this particular 1978 Lincoln cent, despite the scratches and color changes, can vary widely. In the case of a coin with the erased and mint mark and unusual damage, its value could range anywhere from $78,000 depending on the extent of the damage, with some auction sales exceeding $100,000 when the coin is found in a particularly sought-after condition. These types of coins are highly collectible due to their rarity and the curiosity they provoke among numismatists. The most significant collector interest in this coin stems from the erased mint mark and the damage it exhibits. While most collectors would shy away from a scratched and damaged coin, many error coin enthusiasts see value in the uniqueness of the flaws. The erased mint mark is a rare form of mint error, and coins like this attract collectors who are keen on acquiring rare examples of such defects. Errors such as these, especially when combined with scratches and other forms of wear, tend to have increased value. This is because the coin's rarity is amplified by the fact that few of these types of coins are in circulation today. So, whether you're a seasoned collector or a newcomer to the world of valuable coins, this Lincoln Cents 1961 with the ED mint mark in damaged condition show just how much you can uncover in the world of numismatics. The market for damaged coins might surprise you, and these examples prove that it's not just about pristine coins. Sometimes it's the imperfections that hold the most. Next up, we have the 1945 Lincoln wheat cent, an interesting piece because it features a damaged date and shows signs of lamination damage. At first glance, this coin might seem like it's too far gone to be of any interest to serious collectors, but let me assure you, lamination errors can make coins more valuable, especially when they're as unique as this. The 1945 Lincoln wheat cent was minted in the middle of World War II, a time of significant economic turmoil and scarcity of resources. While this particular coin does not feature a mint mark, which means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the year itself is historically significant due to the global events shaping the economy and the numismatic world at that time. The US was transitioning out of wartime rationing, and the coinage system was dealing with shortages in materials. With over 1 billion 1945 wheat pennies produced, these coins are not particularly rare. However, when the coin exhibits a minting error or unique characteristics, such as the lamination damage, it becomes much more collectible and, like the 1946 coin, the 1945 wheat penny also features the well-known design of Abraham Lincoln by Brenner, with the reverse featuring 2 ears of wheat. What sets this particular coin apart, however, is the visible lamination damage, which occurs when the metal layers of the coin don't bond properly during the minting process. This often results in peeling, cracking, or flaking of the coin's surface, which is exactly what we see here. The lamination error in this coin is visible in the form of an area where the metal is peeling away, creating a rough, uneven surface. The date on this coin is also damaged, making it more difficult to read, which further reduces its. Although a typical 1945 penny without mint mark in fine condition may only be worth around $20,000, the lamination error on this specific piece increases its value significantly. Such errors are highly sought after in the numismatic community, with collectors eager to add unique specimens to their collections. Depending on the severity of the damage and the coin's overall condition, this piece could fetch anywhere from $22,000 or more at all. Coins with lamination errors typically hold value due to the rarity of such mistakes. They are considered one-of-a-kind pieces and can attract attention from both collectors and investors. The lamination error is a key factor in determining this coin's value. Errors like this are often caused during the minting process when imperfections occur in the raw metal planchet before it is struck. Collectors who focus on mint errors often seek out these kinds of unique specimens, making them highly prized. In addition to the lamination damage, the missing mint mark adds to the coin's intrigue. Some collectors may view this coin as a rare Philadelphia issue coin, since most other 1945 wheat pennies with mint marks came from other mints. First up, the 1981 Abraham Lincoln 1 cent coin, with a large date and a D mint mark, may not seem like a coin of great significance at first glance, but the truth is far more intriguing. Struck at the Denver Mint, this coin represents the continuing legacy of one of the most iconic American leaders, Abraham Lincoln, whose image graces the obverse of the penny. By 1981, the US had already minted billions of pennies, but certain features make this year and mint mark combination stand out. In 1981, the US Mint struck a total of more than 9 billion pennies. However, it was during this time that subtle differences in the minting process and changes in the date design began to catch the eye of collectors. For example, there was a noticeable difference in the size of the numbers in the date, which led to the categorization of the large date variety. While the 1981 penny might not be the rarest of the Lincoln series, the mint mark and the condition of the coin, especially in dirty circulated states, make it a fascinating find for numismatists. The total mintage for the 1981 Lincoln penny was substantial, but the 1981D, in particular, is considered an integral part of this series due to the sheer number of coins struck in Denver. While most of these coins were minted in high numbers, the specific condition, especially in dirty or circulated states, increases their collector value. The mint mark, placed on the obverse beneath Abraham Lincoln's bust, signifies that this coin was produced at the Denver Mint, which is crucial for collectors who focus on distinguishing between coins from different mints. The 1981D penny is common in most circulated forms, but its real value comes from special variants like the large date or coins with errors. Many of these coins were lost to circulation and are often found in poor condition, making higher-grade examples particularly sought after in the collector market. The design of the 1981 Lincoln penny, like other pennies of the era, features the iconic profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. This portrait, created by Victor David Brenner, has been in circulation since 1909, marking over a century of Lincoln's presence on the 1-cent coin. The reverse features the traditional image of the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparro. What sets the 1981 large date coin apart is the size of the numerals in the date. The large date refers to the noticeable difference in the height of the numbers 8 and 1, especially when compared to the smaller date version of the coin. This subtle difference is crucial for collectors and those seeking out varieties within the 1981 penny series. When these large date coins are found in circulated condition, it becomes even rarer, especially if the coin has been tarnished and shows signs of wear. The 1981 Lincoln penny with a D mint mark is generally not considered rare, but it does hold interest for certain collectors, particularly those who seek mint mark variations, error coins, and coins in unusual conditions. Despite being part of a large mintage, the 1981D in dirty circulated condition can have a surprising value in the market, depending on its specific condition and rarity within its variety group. In the modern coin market, the value of a dirty circulated 1981D Lincoln penny can range from 1 cent to around $15,000 if it is considered a rare error coin, such as those with die cracks or other minting anomalies. If the coin shows significant wear, such as scratches, discoloration, or tarnishing, the value might drop. However, uncirculated versions, especially those that have been preserved carefully, can fetch more, and collectors may be willing to pay premium prices for coins in higher grades. For coins that exhibit unusual characteristics, such as being struck off-center, showing die cracks, or being part of a batch that received unusual wear, prices can go much higher in the market. Even a seemingly unimportant coin, like the 1981D penny, can increase in value if its condition or variety meets certain criteria. In numismatic collecting circles, collectors of Lincoln cents are often particularly interested in coins with errors, such as die cracks, off-center strikes, or overprints. Although the 1981D penny itself may not be as error-prone as other years, certain coins have been found with notable minting flaws, which could raise their value in the auction market. Additionally, coins that have been stored poorly or have unique colorations, such as the rare red-colored varieties, attract attention for their novelty. Red coins, those with copper that has remained relatively undamaged over the years, are particularly prized in high-quality grades. The 1981 penny, in a dirty circulated condition, may not initially seem like a high-value item, but its importance lies in the potential for errors, the scarcity of pristine versions, and the fact that it's part of the enduring legacy of the Lincoln Memorial design. This coin is also an excellent example of how seemingly ordinary pennies can hold significant collector interest due to their historical relevance, market value, and errors. The next up coin on today's list is the 1947 Lincoln wheat penny, a coin with some serious history and even more intriguing details for those who are serious about coin collecting. This penny, from the series that ran from 1909 to 1958, carries an immense value despite its damage, something that even seasoned collectors often find perplexing. Post-World War II, the United States experienced a time of recovery and prosperity. The 1940s brought significant changes in the country's economy and culture. In 1947, the US Mint produced a variety of coins, but none perhaps as iconic as the Lincoln wheat penny. This coin, named for its wheat sheaves on the reverse, was part of the US Treasury's efforts to symbolize growth and prosperity. The penny itself was, of course, the small denomination that circulated the most among the general public. However, the 1947 version would go on to be more than just a coin used in day-to-day transactions. It became a symbol of the country's post-war boom. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln wheat penny features a simple but powerful design. On the obverse, we see the bust of Abraham Lincoln, America's 16th president, facing right. Above Lincoln's head is the inscription Liberties and the Year of Minting. Below Lincoln's portrait is the phrase "In God We Trust," a reminder of the nation's founding principles. On the reverse, the iconic wheat sheaves are visible, with a pluribus unum inscribed above and 1 cent centered beneath. The design is elegant and has stood the test of time. Now let's talk about the mintage and market value. The 1947 Lincoln penny, without a mint mark, was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, with a total of over 1.3 billion coins struck that year. Given the high mintage, many of these pennies were used in everyday transactions and saw wear and tear over the years. As a result, finding one in exceptional condition is quite rare, but for coins like this, the condition matters significantly. This particular 1947 large date coin, despite its visible damage in the form of scratches, still commands attention. Despite the noticeable wear, the coin's market value is surprisingly high. In recent auctions, pennies like this one, especially when verified as the large date variety, can fetch anywhere from $15,000 for one in lower grade conditions like ours here. However, when in higher grades, or when collectors find pennies with fewer scratches or dents, they could see values rise to upwards of $50,000 or even more. Now, let's dive into something very interesting about this coin, its condition. While a lot of collectors might turn away from a coin that's been scratched or shows signs of wear, for some, this damage makes the coin more desirable. The specific type of damage on this 1947 penny is often referred to as a scratching. These scratches may occur from the coin coming into contact with other surfaces or during poor storage conditions, but believe it or not, for collectors who specialize in error coins, this form of damage can sometimes make the coin more valuable. The story behind a coin's damage, especially when it's perceived as unusual or unique, can add intrigue to its history. Collectors tend to seek out the coins with unique imperfections, sometimes seeing them as part of the coin's character. In fact, coins like these often hold a niche market. They might not fetch the astronomical prices of a perfect coin, but for those in the know, the 1947 large date penny with scratches can be just as valuable. There's also a growing interest in coins that have been mishandled or damaged due to factory errors. The 1947 large date penny is often sought after because it serves as an example of how the minting process can leave behind oddities that collectors might find fascinating. Collectors will look for varieties of minting mistakes, like doubling, misstrikes, and even unusual abrasions. So, despite the scratches, this penny is still highly sought after among enthusiasts of rare coin varieties. Next up, the 1961 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent coin, minted at the Denver Mint, indicated by the ED Mint mark, holds significant value especially when it appears in a damaged or aged condition. Although coins like this are typically found in circulation and are often valued only at their face value, there are certain factors that elevate this particular coin into the category of high-value collectibles. The 1961 Lincoln cent was part of a regular series of 1-cent coins that were produced in the post-Tweedy era. In fact, 1961 was an important year in the history of US currency due to the economic landscape and political events at the time. The country was in the midst of a post-war economic boom, and the mint was ramping up production to meet the needs of an expanding economy. The Lincoln cent series itself was launched in 1909, making the 1961 Lincoln cent part of a long tradition of celebrating Abraham Lincoln's legacy. The coin, which has featured Lincoln's portrait on the obverse since its inception, continues to be a symbol of freedom and the nation's progress. The 1961 Lincoln cent, as usual, featured a prominent image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. The reverse displayed the familiar E Pluribus Unum motto, along with the inscriptions United States of America and 1 cent, all surrounded by 2 wheat stalks. This design remained in use for the Lincoln cent until 1958, when it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse design, marking the end of the wheat cent era. While the design is iconic, the key issue for coin collectors is the coin's condition. In the case of a 1961 cent in a dirty or damaged state, such as scratches and discoloration, the collector value lies in its rarity and age, coupled with any unique errors or damage that can make the coin stand out. The mintage of the 1961 Lincoln cent was substantial, with nearly 1 billion coins produced at the Denver Mint. Typically, coins of this era can be found in circulation, and their value tends to hover near face value unless they are in pristine condition or feature rare errors. However, this particular 1961 cent in a damaged condition with AD mint mark is where the story takes a turn. Coins with noticeable scratches, discoloration, or other forms of damage can still be worth significantly more than their face value if the damage is unusual or tied to a rare event. In this case, a market surge for such damaged coins can be attributed to certain collectors who specifically seek these types of coins for their uniqueness. The market value of the 1961 Lincoln cent with a D mint mark, especially in its damaged state, can range from a few dollars to potentially a few hundred, depending on the extent and nature of the damage. Some auction houses have sold similarly damaged coins for upwards of $8,000, especially when the damage is considered to be a form of unique wear rather than common circulation marks. One of the fascinating aspects of collecting Lincoln cents is the variety of errors that can appear in these coins. While this 1961 coin does not feature any official mint errors, the damaged condition has its own appeal. Collectors often seek coins that exhibit unique imperfections, especially when they involve an unusual pattern or form of scratching. In the world of coin collecting, error coins, such as those with unusual minting flaws, off-center strikes, or incorrect die combinations, can be incredibly valuable. For a coin like the 1961 Lincoln cent, finding an error like an overstrike or a double die would make it even more sought. Collectors who focus on damaged or worn coins find interest in this piece because it speaks to the history of the coin. How did it get these scratches? Was it part of an old wallet or in circulation for years? These coins often tell a story of the passage of time, and that adds to their charm. Next up coin on the list is a 1944 Lincoln wheat penny with an S mint mark. This particular penny has some very distinct features that set it apart from others, including a heavily tarnished surface that gives it a blackened appearance. The coin is not pristine by any means, yet it has gained considerable attention from collectors, particularly for its rarity and the fact that it comes from such a historically significant year during World War. The 1944 penny, produced in the midst of World War II, carries with it a heavy historical context. By this time, the US Mint had already been working under difficult conditions due to wartime demands. With copper and other metals being redirected for military use, the 1944 penny became one of the last to be struck using the traditional bronze alloy before the switch to steel in 1943. The war had significantly impacted the mint's operations, and the fact that coins like this 1944 penny continue to circulate during such a tumultuous time only adds to its historical significance. Like other Lincoln wheat pennies, the 1944 version features the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse as designed by Victor David Brenner. The reverse, however, is where things get interesting. It still displays the iconic wheat sheaves, but due to its tarnished, blackened surface, these details are more difficult to make out clearly. In this case, the black coloration is a result of exposure to air and environmental conditions over time. This tarnish doesn't necessarily decrease the coin's value, but it does affect its grade and marketability. In 1944, over 1 billion Lincoln wheat pennies were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, with an additional 60 million struck at the San Francisco Mint, marked with the AZA Mint mark, the S Mint mark version, especially when found in good condition or with unique characteristics, is often more highly prized by collectors. The coin's market value can fluctuate depending on its condition, but in general, a 1944 Lincoln wheat penny with an S Mint mark in dirty or blackened condition can fetch around $37,000, with higher prices if the dirt or tarnish is part of a more fascinating story. Now, let's talk about why collectors are so intrigued by this specific penny. The blackened, tarnished condition is something collectors find interesting, because it's not a typical look for a coin, but rather a natural aging process that, whether it's exposure to moisture, environmental pollution, or other factors. The blackened surface has a unique appeal to error coin collectors, who value the individuality of these specimens. Next up, the 1969 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent coin with the large date and a D Mint mark was struck during a pivotal year in American history. The 1960s were a decade of significant change, with events ranging from the civil rights movement to the space race, and these influences were reflected in the public's interest in the nation's coinage. By 1969, the Lincoln cent had been in production for over 6 decades, with minor changes over the years, including the alteration of the date font and mint mark. This year is particularly important because of the ongoing development of the penny's design, which would remain unchanged until the 1980s. For collectors, the 1969 penny with the D Mint mark holds significance because of its slight design differences as well as the year's particular minting practices. The 1969 Lincoln cent was minted in large quantities, with more than 5.5 billion pennies produced at the Philadelphia Mint P Mint mark and Denver Mint D Mint mark. The mint mark is located under Abraham Lincoln's shoulder on the obverse of the coin, signifying that it was minted in similar to the 1981 D penny. This coin is widely circulated and readily available in lower grades. However, its value increases significantly when it comes to variations and errors. The 1969 penny is part of a large mintage series, meaning that it may not be rare in itself, but some of the errors and unique variations found in this series, particularly with the large date variety, can add significant value to the coin. Like many circulated coins, a dirty or well-worn 1969 penny will have a lower intrinsic value than one found in better condition, but its rarity in certain forms can make it highly desirable. The design of the 1969 Lincoln penny, like other pennies of the time, featured the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, facing right, and the reverse, which depicted the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. The design remained the same as in previous years, with the only significant difference being the size of the digits in the date. The large date variation is more pronounced, with the numbers appearing to be slightly taller than those found on the smaller date version. This design change is subtle but has profound significance for collectors. The large date 1969 penny, like other large date varieties, is a rare find in certain conditions, and this is particularly true for coins in dirty or circulated state. The coin's most obvious characteristic in such conditions is the accumulation of dirt and tarnish, which detracts from its aesthetic appeal but adds to its history and authenticity. The market value of the 1969 Lincoln cent with a D Mint mark in dirty condition fluctuates depending on the coin's specific features. While the coin is common in circulation, the large date variety and specific conditions of wear, including dirt accumulation, can influence its price. In general, these coins are worth anywhere from 1 cent to around $24,000 in circulated condition, depending on the rarity of the specific variation and any potential errors. If the coin has been identified with a rare minting error, such as a double die obverse, then the value can increase significantly, with prices reaching upwards of $40,000 or more. Despite the seemingly low value of a circulated 1969 penny, its potential for significant error can drive interest in the collector's market. Many collectors focus on error coins, and those with unique characteristics tend to perform well at auction. For the 1969 Lincoln cent, the greatest collector interest stems from the presence of errors such as double die varieties, particularly the famous 1969 S double die obverse, which is one of the most valuable and sought-after Lincoln cents. While this error is not common in the 1969 D variety, any coin that shows abnormalities in its strike, such as overprints or incorrect alignment, can be very valuable to collectors. The 1969 Lincoln cent, especially the large date version, has found a niche in the collector's market, and those coins that have been poorly maintained, dirty, or tarnished can still retain their value if they exhibit features that intrigue collectors. Next up, the 1923 Lincoln wheat penny, featuring a large date without a mint mark, is a notable coin in the world of numismatics. It holds a special place due to its unique characteristics and historical context. This penny was produced during the period when the United States was recovering from World War I, a time when the country faced economic challenges, including inflation and the rising cost of metals. The 1920s in America was a period of economic upheaval followed by recovery. The production of the 1923 Lincoln wheat penny occurred during a time when coinage was struck with less precision as metal shortages affected. The large date variety of the 1923 penny is easily identifiable by its bold numerals, which were a result of the increased wear on the Ds. The obverse features the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The reverse showcases 2 stalks of wheat, symbolizing the nation's agricultural heritage. The lack of a mint mark indicates that this penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. The mintage of the 1923 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark was over 91 million coins. However, not all of them have survived in high grades, especially those in poor condition like the dirty, damaged coin, where despite its condition, collectors are still keen on finding these coins as the rarity and historical significance of the piece contribute to its value. In today's auction market, a 1923 Lincoln wheat penny in damaged condition may not fetch a high price as a coin in fine or uncirculated condition. However, depending on the extent of damage, collectors may still pay a premium for this coin due to its historical context and place in the Lincoln series. Values typically range from $1,000 in low-grade condition to higher values in cases where collectors see potential in restoring or preserving the coin. Although the 1923 Lincoln wheat penny does not feature major die errors, some minor variations or wear patterns can increase its desirability. The fact that this particular coin has a dirty, damaged appearance makes it all the more interesting to collectors who focus on finding unique pieces that have stories to tell. Despite the damage, this coin holds immense value in the auction market due to its historical background and the unique characteristics of the large date variety. If you have one in your collection, it's definitely worth checking the current market trends to see how much it could be worth. Next up, the 1963 Abraham Lincoln penny, with its large date and D mint mark, is part of the Lincoln Memorial Cent series, which has been in production since 1959. By 1963, the United States was in the midst of the post-war economic boom, and the coinage system was being updated to reflect the changing times. The coin itself features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, created by the famous sculptor Victor David Brenner, and on the reverse, it features the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. The 1963 coin, like many pennies in the early 60s, was produced in large quantities to keep up with the demand for circulating currency. However, despite the high mintage numbers, coins with specific attributes, such as certain mint marks and conditions, can still hold significant value today. The D Mint mark refers to the Denver Mint, where the majority of these coins were struck. The 1963 Lincoln penny with a D Mint mark had a substantial mintage, with over 1.2 billion coins produced at the Denver Mint. At first glance, this may suggest that the coin should have minimal collector value. However, certain factors such as unique characteristics, mint errors, and coin condition have led to an increased interest in these coins. The sheer volume of pennies produced and the circulation they went through means that high-grade examples of the 1963 D coin are relatively rare, particularly those that have remained in good condition over the decades. The design of the 1963 Lincoln penny follows the classic design that was in circulation for decades. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln's portrait is set against a smooth backdrop, with his name and the word liberty inscribed. The date 1963 is placed at the bottom, with the mint mark D to the right of it, identifying that this coin was struck at the Denver Mint. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial, which was adopted in 1959 to replace the wheat ears that had been on the reverse side of the penny since its introduction in 1909. One important feature to note is the large date variety of the 1963 penny. Although it may seem subtle, the size of the numbers on the coin was adjusted that year. This characteristic makes it easily distinguishable from other coins of the same series and gives it additional collector interest. The 1963 Lincoln penny, particularly in circulated condition, typically holds a value slightly above its face value. However, in better grades like extremely fine or higher, the coin's value can rise dramatically. Coins in circulated condition with wear and tear might fetch around $18,000, but the real value is found in those that are well preserved, where the price could exceed $20,000. Collectors specifically look for coins with excellent eye appeal, minimal scratches, and strong detail on the Lincoln portrait. Additionally, coins that have been graded by professional services like PCGs or NGC hold more value in the marketplace, as buyers trust the authenticity and quality of the coin. While the 1963 D penny doesn't have widespread errors, certain variations are particularly valuable, such as coins with die cracks, double strikes, or off-center strikes. These errors add a level of intrigue to the coin, and if you happen to come across a 1963 D penny with a unique error, it could increase its value significantly. For example, a 1963 D penny with a die crack across Lincoln's cheek or an off-center strike could fetch hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars, depending on the error's severity. These types of errors are rare but highly sought after by serious collectors, and having one in your collection could substantially increase its worth. Due to the fact that this coin is part of the popular Lincoln Memorial penny series and holds historical significance, it is always in demand among collectors. Those looking to complete their Lincoln Memorial series often seek the 1963 D penny in particular, as it is one of the most iconic examples of mid-20th century coinage. Also, collectors who focus on mint marks will be particularly interested in this coin, as it's the last year of a series that includes different varieties based on the minting locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Denver Mint's contribution to the Lincoln Cent series is essential, making this particular coin valuable in terms of rarity and history. In summary, the 1963 Lincoln penny with the D Mint mark, despite its high mintage, holds tremendous value in the collector's market, especially in higher grades or with notable mint errors. While most circulated examples are affordable, those with rare characteristics or superior condition can fetch significant prices in today's auctions. Next up, the 1926 Abraham Wheat 1 cent is a highly sought-after coin in the world of numismatics, particularly when it features a large date without a mint mark and an error line across the front of the coin. To understand its value, we need to explore the historical context, the design elements, and the specific error that makes this coin so valuable in today's auction market. The Abraham Wheat penny, also known simply as the Wheat penny, was first minted in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin features a portrait of President Lincoln on the obverse and two wheat stalks on the reverse. The 1926 version of this coin is particularly important because it reflects a period of transition in American history, shortly after World War, during a time of economic growth in the Roaring Twenties. The 1926 coin was produced during the height of the Great Depression, when the US economy was beginning to show signs of strain. While the coin itself doesn't directly reflect the economic downturn, it represents a key moment in numismatic history, as it was the last year for some of the Lincoln wheat pennies before the eventual transition to the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. The 1926 Lincoln wheat penny had a total mintage of 192 million, which makes it a relatively common coin in good condition. However, the value of any coin depends on several factors, including its condition, rarity, and any distinguishing features that make it unique. The error line on the front of the coin, caused during the minting process, drastically increases its value. A coin with such a prominent mint error can fetch upwards of $96,000 or more in auction, depending on the severity of the damage and its rarity in the market. The obverse of the 1926 Lincoln wheat penny features Abraham Lincoln's portrait, facing right. The coin's design includes the words "Liberty in God, We Trust" and the year 1926. The reverse of the coin is where two stalks of wheat surround the words "United States of America" and a pluribus unum. The presence of the error line across the front is the distinguishing feature of this coin, an anomaly caused by a mistake during the die production. This coin's value is driven not only by its historical significance and rarity, but also by the error that occurred during its minting. The error line on the front of the coin, typically seen on the obverse near the rim or Lincoln's portrait, occurred when the die used for striking the coin became damaged or contaminated. Such errors are relatively rare and highly valued by collectors, especially when they are as prominent and clear as in this case. This specific type of error makes the coin even more collectible and desirable, driving up its market price. Collectors are drawn to such coins because they represent a unique moment in the production process, providing a tangible connection to the history of coinage. Coins with minting errors like this are highly prized because they are rare and tell a story that regular coins do not. If you enjoyed this video, next up, the 1956 Lincoln wheat penny is another important coin in the series, primarily due to its distinctive large date design. This coin was struck in the post-war period when the US economy was flourishing, and it represents a time of change in the country's political and social landscape. By 1956, the United States had largely recovered from the Great Depression, and the coinage was struck with more precision than it had been during the earlier part of the century. However, some coins, like the 1956 Lincoln penny, exhibit intriguing characteristics such as unusual coloration or post-minting damage, making them even more desirable to collectors. The 1956 large date penny features the familiar Lincoln obverse and the wheat reverse, making it easily recognizable among collectors. The large date version is notable because the numerals are much bolder and larger than those in the earlier design. The coin we're discussing here has a unique characteristic. It has a green layer on both sides of the coin. This extra color layer is not an intentional part of the design, but rather a result of environmental factors. Over time, copper coins like the Lincoln wheat penny can develop a patina or corrosion when exposed to air, moisture, and other elements. The 1956 Lincoln wheat penny had a mintage of over 412 million coins, making it one of the more common dates in the series. However, the added green patina and the dirty, damaged condition can make this coin much more intriguing to collectors. Despite its lower grade, the unusual color layer can create an added layer of mystery, which some collectors find appealing. As far as market value, the 1956 Lincoln wheat penny in this condition may fetch thousands of dollars in auction. The unusual color may either increase or decrease the value depending on how collectors view it. A coin with a strange patina can be either a conversation starter or a piece that detracts from the coin's overall appeal. However, in today's market, collectors are willing to pay more for pennies with unusual characteristics, especially if the patina can be identified as a natural occurrence rather than artificial wear. The 1956 large-date penny is not known for major minting errors, but the coin's condition and color make it an interesting piece to study. Some collectors specialize in coins with unique colorations, while others focus on the historical significance of the coin itself. Coins like this one are often sought by those interested in how environmental factors impact the preservation of coins. The dirty, greenish hue is often caused by the coin being buried or exposed to humidity or chemicals. For some collectors, the story behind the coin and its condition can add value, making it a must-have item in their collections. Next up, the 2009 Abraham Lincoln Formative Years Indiana coin, also bearing the D mint mark. This coin was part of the same 2009 Bicentennial series, and while it's often overshadowed by the presidency coin, it remains highly sought after for its own unique design and historical significance. The Formative Years coin commemorates Lincoln's early life in Indiana, where he spent much of his childhood. This coin highlights the period from 1816 to 1830, when Lincoln lived in a log cabin near the banks of the Big Pigeon Creek in southern Indiana, just west of the town of Gentryville. This period is important because it was during these formative years that Lincoln developed many of the qualities that would shape his future leadership, including his work ethic, self-education, and love for reading. Though his Indiana years were marked by hardship and poverty, they provided the foundation for his later success in law and politics. The coin itself is a testament to the humble beginnings of a man who would eventually rise to the presidency and lead the nation through one of its most tumultuous periods. The 2009 Abraham Lincoln Formative Years Indiana coin, like its bicentennial presidency counterpart, was minted at the Denver Mint, and it carries a D mint mark. While the mintage for this coin was similarly high, it is still considered a desirable piece for collectors, especially those focused on Lincoln-themed coinage. For coins in circulated condition, the value can fluctuate based on demand, but this particular coin typically ranges from $100,000 in the open market. The value, like with most commemorative coins, can increase when sold as part of a complete set. Some sellers on auction platforms have seen this coin fetch $110,000 or more, especially when the coin is paired with the rest of the series or in excellent circulated condition. The reverse side of the Formative Years Indiana coin features a powerful image of a log cabin, which represents the humble home where Lincoln spent much of his early years. The design is simple yet poignant, capturing the essence of Lincoln's early life and the environment that shaped his character. The cabin is framed by the inscriptions United States of America and E Pluribus Unum, with the mint mark D positioned near the bottom. On the obverse, as with all the 2009 Lincoln coins, you'll find the famous image of the Lincoln Memorial, which stands as a symbol of Lincoln's monumental legacy. The Liberty inscription is located near the top, along with the In God We Trust, and the year 2009, the large date, is once again a noticeable feature of this particular coin. As with the Bicentennial Presidency coin, the Formative Years Indiana coin has its share of error types that have attracted collectors. These include double die errors, struck-through errors, and misaligned dies, all of which can significantly enhance a coin's market value, especially if the errors are rare or unusual. Moreover, collectors who are focused on completing their 2009 Lincoln series, or those who specialize in regional historical coins, are highly interested in this particular piece. Coins representing Lincoln's childhood in Indiana are particularly appealing due to the historical connection to his upbringing and early experiences. In addition, because the coin was part of a larger series celebrating Lincoln's life, it has a sense of completeness that collectors appreciate. In summary, both the Abraham Lincoln Bicentennial Presidency 2009 large date with D mint mark and the 2009 Formative Years Indiana with D mint mark coins have earned their place in the hearts of collectors. They both commemorate pivotal moments in Abraham Lincoln's life, and their distinctive designs and historical significance ensure their continued interest and value in the market. Whether you're just starting your collection or you're an experienced numismatist, these two coins represent pieces of American history that are not just valuable in monetary terms, but are also treasures of the past that offer a glimpse into the formative experiences and leadership of one of the nation's greatest presidents. As always, if you found this video informative and valuable, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more in-depth discussions on rare and valuable coins. Thanks for watching and happy collecting.